I'm not going to screw around. I'm giving you the facts on Alpha Pic's performance first so you can decide if it's something that interests you. It will take less than 4 minutes. After that, if you want to keep watching, I'll go into more depth on the nuts and bolts. But first, Alpha Pic's results. Although Seeking Alpha's quant rating system has been around for much longer, Alpha Pic's debuted in July 2022. Over that time frame, Alpha Pic's has outperformed the S&P 500 by a large margin, roughly 281% to 79%, or about 3.5 times the return. Extending the time frame to 8 years, you can see how Seeking Alpha's quant rating system, Strong Buys, performed against the S&P 500, as well as Wall Street analysts' Strong Buy recommendations. With the exception of 2020, where the Wall Street analysts outperformed, Seeking Alpha's Strong Buys outperformed both cohorts consistently. In fairness, we've been in a pretty strong bull market during this time, so it's not unusual for a momentum-based system like Alpha Pic's to outperform, but we do get a glimpse of how it would perform in a less accommodating market. In 2022, Seeking Alpha's quant system capped losses to basically zero in an otherwise down market. If you are new to Alpha Pic's, they suggest 3 strategies for getting started. 1. Buy at least 5 strong buy-rated Alpha Pic's from the existing portfolio. 2. Buy the entire portfolio using the allocations in the Portfolio tab. 3. Use Alpha Pic's as an idea generation tool. Now let's look at how an investor would have fared using Seeking Alpha's first 2 suggested strategies, plus one of our own. Each of these strategies was tracked from January to November of last year. First, Strategy 1. Buy the entire Alpha Pic's portfolio using the allocations in the Portfolio tab. Sell when Alpha Pic's gives sell recommendations, and add new recommendations as they come out. We are just matching the Alpha Pic's portfolio, no discretion. This is a version of copy trading. The results? Alpha Pic's gained 40.6%, while the S&P gained 14.36%. Winner, Alpha Pic's by a significant margin. Now, Strategy 2, buy all existing strong buy-rated Alpha Pic's stocks from its portfolio, add any new strong buy recommendations, and hold unless we get a sell recommendation. For purposes of this strategy, all stocks are purchased in equal amounts of $1,000. The results? Alpha Pic's gained 26.89%, while the S&P gained 15.34%. Winner, Alpha Pic's again. To normalize these returns, the S&P returns are based on the buy and sell dates within the Alpha Pic's portfolio. Finally, Strategy 3. But first, Seeking Alpha is running a Valentine's special. 15% off Alpha Pic's with my link in the description. Full disclosure, if you use my link and subscribe to Alpha Pic's, I get paid a small commission. I won't be retiring to an island, but it does help offset the costs of running this channel. Okay, now Strategy 3, it's very straightforward and easy to follow. Add only the new stocks recommended by Alpha Pic's each month. So we'll ignore all previous picks and hold unless we get a sell recommendation. Each stock gets added at $1,000. The results? Alpha Pic's gained 15.91%, while the S&P gained 11.59%. Winner, Alpha Pic's. Not by a wide margin, but it still outperformed. Okay, so Alpha Pic's performance since inception have been outstanding, and it has done quite well over the last year. Perhaps not surprisingly, Alpha Pic's recommendations typically perform better over longer time frames, so the results from last year may improve over time. The underlying quant rating system has also proved itself against 2 cohorts over almost a decade. The picks look solid. But here are some things to consider. Alpha Pic's win percentage is a very respectable 71% overall. But when looking at its distribution of returns, it has a smaller number of very large winners supported by a larger number of solid gainers. Here's what I mean. 4 picks have gained more than 600%. 6 have gained more than 300%. 10 have gained more than 200%. And 17 have gained more than 100%. Here are some examples of the larger winners. What this means is that, to the extent possible, you don't want to cherry-pick and try to outsmart the system. The more exposure you have to a larger number of Alpha Pic stocks, the safer your money is likely to be. No surprise that diversification works here like it does everywhere else, but you have to be prepared and have the resources to make those purchases when the recommendations come out. Another thing you want to consider is the price. Alpha Pic's, even with my standard 10% discount, is $449 per year. You have to factor that into your returns when deciding if this makes sense for you or not. Let's take Strategy 2's results as an example. AlphaPix outperformed the S&P by 11.55%, 26.89% to 15.34%. So let's look at how that plays out at different portfolio values. At the higher portfolio values, the cost of AlphaPix becomes very reasonable. At $10,000 though, it's something to think about. Finally, you want to consider that AlphaPix will deliver 24 stock recommendations for the year. A few may get sold during the year, but you need a portfolio value that can not only support the purchase of each new recommended stock, but also purchase some of AlphaPix's existing strong buy-rated stocks. Remember, diversification is important here. The more exposure you can get to more of AlphaPix's recommendations, the better chance you have of maximizing your returns. If your portfolio is in the $10,000 range, AlphaPix may not make sense for you. You would likely be limited to Strategy 3, buying all new recommendations only. That strategy only generated 4.32% in excess returns. AlphaPix's cost as a percent of a $10,000 portfolio is 4.49%, so the numbers don't add up. But if you have upwards of $50,000 or more to invest, then AlphaPix is definitely worth a look. And until February 15th, it's 15% off with my link in the description, knocking the price down to around $424 for an annual subscription. AlphaPix doesn't have a free trial or any kind of money-back guarantee, but there's a reason for that. As soon as you sign up, you get access to all of AlphaPix's past recommendations. So it makes sense that they don't offer a free trial or refunds. Now to the nuts and bolts. AlphaPix delivers 2 stock picks per month, one on the 1st and 15th of the month, or the trading days closest to the 1st and 15th. Any stock AlphaPix recommends must satisfy these 6 requirements. Have a strong buy quant rating for at least 75 consecutive days. Be a US common stock, not be a REIT. Have a 3-month average market capitalization greater than $500 million. Have a stock price above $10. Have not been recommended in the last year. What's a quant rating? The stock picks you receive are selected in part using Seeking Alpha's proprietary quantitative, or quant, rating system. Quant analysis is a data-driven approach to investing that uses math, statistics, and algorithms to identify trading and investment opportunities, rather than relying on narratives, opinions, or discretionary judgment. Technically, Seeking Alpha employs a quantamental approach, blending quantitative data with fundamental analysis. You probably know what fundamental analysis is, but it involves analyzing income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements, as well as management quality and industry conditions. At least one independent expert reviewed Seeking Alpha's quant rating system and gave it the thumbs up. After analyzing over 10,000 stocks rated by the system over 6 years, Dr. Russell James of the University of Kentucky concluded that Seeking Alpha's quant rating system strongly predicts future returns and delivers significant benefits to investors. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds because you can find quite a bit of information about the quant rating system in the public domain, but Seeking Alpha's quant rating system evaluates stocks using over 100 quantitative metrics, comparing each company to its sector peers, and assigns grades across 5 core factors: value, growth, profitability, momentum, and EPS revisions. Now let's dive into the interface. After subscribing, you'll be added to the AlphaPix investing group on the Seeking Alpha website. Across the top, you will see 4 tabs: Analysis, Portfolio, Performance, and About. The AlphaPix Analysis tab in Seeking Alpha provides a chronological overview of all investment reports and performance summaries for recommended stocks. It acts as a hub for understanding the rationale behind each pick, displaying total portfolio returns and detailed research updates for investors. The Portfolio tab provides a comprehensive, real-time view of the service's active investment holdings, including individual stock performance, sector allocation, and holding percentages. It allows users to track the AlphaPix portfolio. It lists active strong buy recommendations, including purchase date, entry price, and current return. It also displays sell recommendations for closed positions and other actionable insights. Since AlphaPix's inception in July 2022, about 7 out of 10 of its picks have been winners. The AlphaPix Performance tab provides a comprehensive, up-to-date, and transparent overview of the portfolio's results, including total return, individual stock performance, and comparisons against the S&P 500. It tracks the performance of all past and current picks since inception. The Alpha Picks About tab provides a comprehensive overview of the service's investment strategy, portfolio management process, and team background. It details the quantitative, data-driven methodology used to make its stock recommendations. So that's it. You've got the facts. You can decide for yourself whether Alpha Picks is right for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit subscribe. We publish fresh content multiple times per week, breaking down the economy and helping you grow and protect your wealth, and keep the momentum going. Watch. Is the US planning a $20,000 gold revaluation? It's on the screen. You'll also see a link to my Wealth Builders Blueprint, a large collection of resources you can use to grow your wealth. I also included a link to Zacks Confidential, a more economical alternative to Alpha Picks. Check them out. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.